Yo, all right, everybody, here we go. Let's talk about starting up a retail business with your AMC cash or your Dogecoin money when you take profits. Here we go. I'm sitting inside of my restaurant. I'm going to discuss with you how you go about opening a retail space. Retail anything. It can be a hair salon, a tanning salon, a fitness center, a restaurant, a boutique, a clothing store, whatever. And everything I just listed, I either own right now or I have owned, okay? Let's go ahead and we'll do a hair salon. Let's negotiate the hair salon. I'm sitting in a 3,000 square foot restaurant that I own. It's 3,000 square foot. Typically in a retail shopping center, you're going to have 1,200 to 1,500 square foot spaces that you have to lease. Now, this is a combined 1,500 per. I ended up with 3,000 square feet on this restaurant. In the heart of Trussville, it's a location, it's prime retail space. Foot traffic. The biggest mistake people make in opening a business is they're like, okay, well, I can't afford a lot of rent. Just to let y'all know, the rent on this building is $8,600 a month. $8,600 a month. Now, typically, you guys are gonna be like, well, I can't afford that. I need to go to the BC location around the corner, the small building, the garbage area that nobody's really interested in, but hey, the rent's real cheap. Look at that building over there, man. It's been vacant for 2 years, but the rent's real cheap. I'm taking that building, man. I'm gonna kick butt in that building. Look at all the money I'm saving in rent. So there's your mistake. That's the biggest mistake. And it has nothing to do with foot traffic. Foot traffic for that location is not the primary reason that we're avoiding that location. You're avoiding that location because usually you are leasing or renting from the owner of the building in those retail spaces, which means the guy that owns the building is the guy that you have to rent from. Those are nightmares. We have to stay away from that. They don't teach you this crap in business school, man. You know, all you people that are out there that are like, well, I got a business degree, I can do it. Yeah, wipe your ass with your business degree because you're gonna get burnt if that's all you rely on. Some guy came at me yesterday. He was like, oh, you're just a bodybuilder meathead, man. I got a business degree. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, well, that just tells me right out of the gate that you are a freaking loser, that you don't have any clue what it takes to start a retail space, turn it into a business, because they don't teach you that. What they teach you in business school is how to scale a business. They teach you the back end. If you want to be a property management retail back end, that's what they teach you. They don't teach you front end. You got to be a shark to be able to deal with front end retail and be successful at it. A lot of street smarts are involved, people. This right here, what I'm explaining to you, street smarts. Don't ever rent from the guy that owns the building. You have to rent from a property management, a retail property management company that is worth millions and millions of dollars, because we're asking for free money. The old man that owns that building around the corner, he ain't giving you no free money because he ain't got no free money. That's why we go after the big dogs. Now the big dogs, it just so happens that they have the best retail space in your community. That brand new shopping center that just popped up in front of those 700 houses. Look at all that foot traffic. That's where everybody's shopping right now. All the attention is on that brand new shopping center. That's where you want to be. Now, let's say we're going after the hair salon, okay? So this is how we begin this. First off, you better have some good credit. We call it the 800-pound gorilla in the room. That means you got an 800 credit score. If you have between a 700 and an 800 credit score, you're going to get anything you want from this retail company. This is how we do it. You're going to see a sign on the building or on the property, and it's going to have a phone number on it. You call the number, and you set up an appointment. You want an on-site visual of the location, and you want to meet the leasing agent, and you want to build a rapport with the leasing agent. You just want to start talking back and forth. You talk about anything. You're going to explain to them what the business is. They need to know what the business is that you're going to be putting into the location. You got to make sure that within that shopping center, there isn't another business that it's, so if it's a hair salon, there cannot be another hair salon in that shopping center. There's only going to be one. They're only going to allow one. What I like to do is I like to go after shadow centers like Walmart shadow centers, Target shadow centers, Publix shadow centers. That means Publix grocery store is the anchor, and then there is a shadow center attached to it. You've got tons of foot traffic. That's just one idea for you. Find a Walmart shadow center off to the side of the Walmart, tons of foot traffic for your hair salon. Now, you meet the guy's gonna be like, okay, it's $30 a square foot and it's a 1,500 square foot room. That's all you need to know. Also, there's going to be cam fees involved. So let's say it's $25 a square foot with $5 cam fees. Your cam fees are going to be your parking lot and maintenance fees. So you have to pay rent on your actual building, on your space, but then you have to pay per square foot for lawn maintenance, for exterior maintenance, for the parking maintenance, all that, the sidewalks. You have to pay for that. That's called cam fees. So in total, you're paying $30 a square foot. It's all the information you want. Do not negotiate on site with the property manager. Okay, you do that amongst emails. You shake the guy's hand, you leave, game over. That's it. That's all you want to discuss. Now the negotiation begins. You go back, you got the guy's email address, and you put a proposal together. This is how all of my proposals start. Just an idea on a hair salon, one of the hair salons that I owned back in the day. This is how I proposed it. Right out of the gate, 1 year free rent. This is what I want. 1 year free rent, buddy. Second, no key money, no security deposit. That means I sign the lease, I pay you nothing. You hand me the key. Okay. Third, I decide how much the signage is going to cost me, and I ask for that startup capital. On one of my hair salons, the sign was $12,000. So I told the property manager I want $12,000 for my sign. I then asked for $40,000. I look at the build out and I'm like, okay, the build out's gonna cost me $80,000 to $100,000. If it's 80 G's, hair salon build out is not expensive. It's very, very affordable. Sometimes you can just find a hair salon that went out of business and move right in. I've done that before. But if you're starting from ground level, typical hair salon, 80,000, no more than 100,000 on a 1,500 square foot unit. So you are going to ask for half of that. So if it's 80 G's, I say tenant improvements, I want $40,000. You see, they won't do the tenant improvement for you. They won't come in there and do all the build out unless it is a ground up new construction. If the plaza is just being built, then you take your design to their engineer, and their engineer will finish the build out, the layout for you, because they're already, you know, in that startup phase. So that's a different scenario. I'm talking about a plaza that's already been built, it's been sitting there for 5 years, and a room comes up available for lease. Prior to that, there was already, who knows what, a boutique in there. Okay, so now you have to gut the boutique and you have to rebuild. That's called build out. Hair salon, $80,000, I ask for $40,000. Now, let's say the dude tells me it's just we're just ballparking this. Typically a 1,500 square foot unit is gonna cost you $4,000 a month. That's typical, that's average. So the dude says, okay, it's $4,000 a month. So I agree to the $4,000. I ask for all this 1 year, I ask for startup capital, I ask for tenant improvements, and then I say, if I get all that, I'm gonna give you the $4,000 a month. And of course, you're gonna have to sign a 5-year lease. What I do is I add 6 months to the back end of the lease if I get the 1 year free rent. So I say, give me 1 year free rent, but add 6 months to the back end of the lease, so I'll be there for 5 years, 6 months, paying you $4,000. They then rebuttal that. They will come back and they will say, well, we'll give you 6 months free rent, and okay, we'll give you the sign, the $10,000 to $15,000 for the sign, and we'll give you $25,000, or we'll give you $30,000 for tenant improvements. I then rebuttal them, and I say, okay, if that's all you're going to give me, I would like, I'll say 8 months free rent. Meet me a little higher on the tenant improvements. Let's go to who knows, $32,000, give me my signage money, but take my rent down to, say, $3,700 a month. You see, I use the rent as negotiating power. I tell them, I'm going to give you your rent right out of the gate, but you got to give me this. Then if they don't give me that, I say, well, now I'm taking rent. I'm going to start decreasing the rent that I'm going to pay you because I'm going to need that money. That's usually where you start to come to an agreement, okay? And they'll probably rebuttal you one time. They might say, well, we might need another document from you. You've already sent them your financials. This is where they're going to be like, okay, send us your past 2-year tax returns, and that'll be the decision maker. So you send them the 2-year tax returns, and then boom. The next email you get is, okay, we're going to give you your 1-year free rent. We're going to give you your startup capital. We're going to give you your tenant improvements, but we want our $4,000 a month. Boom! You got exactly what you wanted. Now, just think about this. For 1 year, you don't even have to pay rent. The old man around the corner that's got that crappy building, dude, is he going to give you a year free rent? No, he won't even give you 1 month free rent. Is he going to give you $50,000, $60,000 cash? Listen, guys, I sign a lease. They cut me a check usually for like $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, you know, in these scenarios. You're getting money, you're getting paid, and you are in the best retail space in your community. That means every factor you need to be successful is conquered within the very first negotiation before you even open. Before you even open, you're securing your success by negotiating that lease exactly the way I just told you to. People don't teach you this. I wish somebody would have taught me this when I first got started. Nobody explained this to me. I had to learn all this on my own. And one of the biggest negotiations I ever did in my life was my fitness center, $32,000 a month. I got 1 year free rent. I got a $100,000 check. And listen, when they cut me the check, they didn't even entail in the lease what I had to use the check for. Most of the time, the leasing company will write in the lease that, okay, this money is for signage. It's also used for tenant improvement build out on bathrooms, this, that, and the other thing. When I signed the lease on the gym, they just cut me a check for $100,000. I could have went and bought a Corvette with the damn check. You see what I'm saying? That's how you negotiate a freaking lease, people. And by the way, I got 1 year free rent, which was almost $400,000 startup capital. 400 G's. Listen, when you don't have to pay rent for a freaking year, think of all the money that you're rolling back into your business. All that money goes right back into building your business into this powerhouse. You make the business so damn strong that now this momentum is rolling over into the next 5.5 years. And that's why you become ultra successful, because you negotiated a proper lease. People that don't negotiate the lease, I've seen people do this. Right as soon as they open, they start paying rent. You're doomed. You're done. You're cooked. They pay for their own build out. They pay for their own tenant improvements. They pay for their own sign. You're cooked if that's what you do. Biggest mistake ever, you don't know what you're doing. Again, they don't teach you this crap in school. So that's how it's done, people, whatever your idea is. Now, this is why I tell people, and I've been hired, I've negotiated a lot of businesses. I charge $15,000. You pay me $15,000, and a lot of times the people are like, wow, 15 grand, that's a lot of money. Oh, really? What if I get you $300,000 the way I just explained it, which I usually do? I'll get you anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000. 15 grand? Not only that, I just secured the success of your business. 15 grand for 15 lousy freaking dollars. Okay, now you see why it's important that you hire a negotiator. You hire a business advisor before you go in. If you don't have the experience, you hire a business advisor, and that person is the person that sends the email and negotiates the lease. That person is the one that the leasing agent deals with. All right, everybody, I hope that helps. I got to get to the gym and train. It's going to be a great day. Biceps, triceps. Y'all have a beautiful day. AMC, baby, to the moon. Shaboom.